Newcastle United's future is about to massively change. From discussing how Newcastle has sealed perfect first summer signing, to second arrival of generational signing on the way as medicals have been booked for this week, to Newcastle arriving with a late interest for signing £25 million former Arsenal midfielder, to a Premier League club agreeing a deal to sign a £65,000 a week player from Newcastle United, to Newcastle set to sanction summer exit with £15 million deal close as Celtic and Saudi clubs are keen, to a Fabrizio Romano exclusive on the future of Miguel Almiron. We'll also reveal the number of signings Newcastle are eyeing, with July surprise on the cards as reported by a source close to the club.
Give me all the details.
Join us as we uncover the latest Newcastle United news. Make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell because you won't want to miss a single moment of this incredible journey.
Let's go!
Starting off, according to the exclusive reports, Newcastle United are close to completing the signing of Lloyd Kelly from Bournemouth on a free transfer. The reports state that this deal has never felt in doubt for the Magpies, with Kelly seen as a more probable target compared to Tosin Adarabioyo, who has instead joined Chelsea. Eddie Howe, the Newcastle manager, is set to land his top defensive target in Kelly, who is very keen to reunite with the manager who brought him to Bournemouth in 2019. Kelly's Bournemouth contract is set to expire on June 30th, which means Newcastle can sign the 25-year-old defender on a free transfer. This is seen as an appealing deal for the Magpies, as they will be acquiring a Premier League caliber defender who can play in multiple positions without having to spend a transfer fee. It is suggested that the deal is essentially done, with the only remaining step being for Kelly to complete a medical and sign on the dotted line. Providing an exclusive update, transfer expert Fabrizio Romano, Keith Downie of Sky Sports News, and The Athletic's David Ornstein and other reliable sources have revealed that Newcastle have fully agreed a verbal contract with Kelly, and he is set to sign a 4-year deal with the club with an option of a further year. Fabrizio Romano then dropped another massive exciting development hours after saying, Lloyd Kelly's medical tests as Newcastle player have been booked. Deal done as revealed earlier today. Kelly has already spoken to Eddie Howe, ready for new chapter at Newcastle United until June 2029. The signing of Kelly is considered a strong start to the summer transfer window for Newcastle as they look to bolster their defensive options, particularly with the recent injuries to Sven Botman and Jamal Lascelles. While not a blockbuster signing, Kelly's experience in the Premier League, his versatility, and his history with Howe make him a valuable addition to the Newcastle squad as they aim to build on their successful 2022-23 season. So Lloyd Kelly looks likely to be Newcastle's first signing of the summer, and he might be swiftly followed by a second. According to Team Talk, Newcastle United are closing in on a major signing this week as they look to strengthen their squad and challenge for a top 4 finish in the Premier League next season. The report states that James Trafford has agreed personal terms with the Magpies, with Toon officials now trying to negotiate a price for the goalkeeper with Burnley. Newcastle value him at £16 million, while Burnley want £20 million. Given how close the two sides are, a compromise feels inevitable. The report claims that Newcastle has booked a medical for him this week as they expect to finalize the deal in the coming days. Trafford has been highly sought after by numerous clubs across Europe, and despite Burnley's relegation from the Premier League, there was always an expectation that he would leave the club in the summer transfer window. Newcastle's current number 1 goalkeeper, Nick Pope, has struggled with fitness issues, leaving the club in need of a more reliable option between the sticks. The signing of Trafford is seen as a move to challenge Pope for the starting spot and potentially take over as the club's long-term goalkeeper. Trafford is highly regarded within the game, and coaches at Newcastle believe he has the potential to eventually become England's top goalkeeper, taking over from Jordan Pickford. Trafford's impressive performances for the England under-21 team at the 2023 European Championships, where he did not concede a single goal and saved a stoppage time penalty in the final, have further enhanced his reputation. The report also notes that Burnley, who believed Trafford would be their long-term goalkeeper if they had remained in the Premier League, are now on the verge of losing their talented young shot-stopper to Newcastle. Overall, the signing of Trafford is seen as a major coup for Newcastle as they look to bolster their squad and challenge for a top 4 finish in the upcoming season. So a deal for Trafford feels probable while the Kelly transfer is pretty much completed. The transfer window is not even officially open, Yet Newcastle are already on the brink of two important signings. That is great news for Howe, as it will mean the club has more time to focus on signing a new right winger, which is where most of the budget might go. Talking about right wingers, there has been a new development as Chelsea are now making moves to sign Newcastle United target Michael Olise.
Shit. That's my bar. Shit. He copied my whole fucking flow. That's kissed me through the phone. He copied my whole fucking flow. Word for word, bar for bar.
Then moving on, according to the Gazzeta, Newcastle United have registered their interest in signing Matteo Guendouzi from Lazio. Guendouzi, a former Arsenal midfielder, is now a France international playing in Serie A with Lazio. The reports suggest that Newcastle have joined Aston Villa in the race to sign the 25-year-old, who would cost around £25 million. It's noted that Newcastle manager Eddie Howe was previously interested in signing Guendouzi back in 2021 when he was on loan at Marseille from Arsenal. Guendouzi has since mellowed his controversial persona from his time in the Premier League and has starred for Lazio in the Champions League last season. While Newcastle are well stocked in midfield, there are suggestions that Sean Longstaff could be on the move to Leicester City. This may open up the opportunity for Newcastle to bring in another central midfielder, with Guendouzi emerging as a potential target. Newcastle would be wise to seek a larger squad, given the injury issues they have faced recently, even though they missed out on European football for the upcoming season. It remains to be seen if Newcastle will make an official proposal to sign Guendouzi, but the club is in need of a quality central midfielder who can help control the tempo of the game. Guendouzi's prior Premier League experience with Arsenal, as well as his creative, technical, and physical attributes, could make him an appealing option for the Magpies. The signing of Guendouzi could also send a message of ambition to other key players in the Newcastle squad, such as Bruno Guimaraes and Alexander Isak, as the club looks to continue its upward trajectory. Ultimately, the opportunity to join Newcastle or Aston Villa could be an exciting one for Guendouzi, as he enters the peak of his career and looks to join a club capable of challenging for trophies. Newcastle's financial resources and ambitious project to put together a formidable squad for the future could give them an edge in the race to secure the midfielder's signature. Then moving on, according to a recent report, a Newcastle United player has agreed to join another Premier League club. The player in question is winger Ryan Fraser, who has agreed a deal to leave Newcastle and join Premier League newcomers Southampton. The report from The Athletic states that while the final details are yet to be confirmed, the 30-year-old is set to end his near 4-year stay on Tyneside. Fraser, who was reportedly earning £65,000 per week at Newcastle, enjoyed a productive loan spell at Southampton last season, scoring 8 goals and providing 3 assists. The former Bournemouth wide man even started the playoff final for Southampton against Leeds, helping his side secure a 1-0 win at Wembley and promotion to the Premier League. With Fraser having just 1 year remaining on his contract at St James's Park, Newcastle are expected to receive a transfer fee for the player, though the exact amount has not been reported yet. Given that Fraser was a high earner at Newcastle, the report suggests that the club may have been willing to let him go for a relatively low fee just to get his wages off the books and stay in line with financial fair play regulations. Who had to deal with a lot of scrutiny last season, despite managing to end the campaign strongly and maintain his position. However, Howe will now be focused on bolstering his squad further in the transfer window, while also navigating the financial constraints imposed by FFP. Then in another development, according to reports, Scottish club Celtic are eyeing a move for Newcastle United goalkeeper Martin Dubravka this summer. Celtic manager Brendan Rodgers is on the hunt for a new number 1 goalkeeper following the retirement of Joe Hart last month. Dubravka, 35, has emerged as a target for the Hoops. Dubravka played 23 matches for Newcastle last season, becoming their first-choice keeper after an injury to Nick Pope in the second half of the campaign. However, with Pope now fit again and Newcastle close to signing Burnley's James Trafford, Dubravka is expected to fall down the pecking order under Eddie Howe. The report from the Daily Record suggests that Newcastle are willing to let Dubravka leave the club to free up wages. The experienced Slovakian goalkeeper believes he can still play at a high level for another 2 years and could be tempted by the prospect of Champions League football at Celtic next season. Dubravka has been at Newcastle for 6 years, making 163 appearances for the club, but he is now expected to start a new chapter of his career, with Celtic facing competition from other clubs in Europe as well as potential lucrative offers from Saudi Arabia. Dubravka made his senior breakthrough with his boyhood club Zelina before spells in Denmark, the Czech Republic, and a loan at Manchester United. His agent has hinted that Dubravka may want to look elsewhere, with his Newcastle contract set to expire in a year's time. The report suggests Celtic are viewing Dubravka as a main target to replace the retired Joe Hart, but they will have to fight off interest from other suitors if they want to secure the experienced goalkeeper's signature this summer. Then, in a recent update from Fabrizio Romano on the future of Miguel Almiron, the transfer guru said, Miguel Almiron's future remains open ahead of the summer transfer window. After Saudi Pro League move collapsed in January, more clubs are showing interest in the midfielder. Newcastle, open to selling Almiron in case of good proposal due to financial fair play situation. While in an interesting piece, according to Mark Douglas, Newcastle United are eyeing at least 4 signings this summer transfer window, with the possibility of a July surprise on the cards as well. The report states that a source close to the club has revealed that Newcastle are targeting a right winger, a right-sided centre-back, a backup striker, and a goalkeeper to challenge Nick Pope as the bare minimum for their summer transfer business. Importantly, the source added that the club will be looking to sign players who can take the team up another level, suggesting that after securing squad depth improvements like Lloyd Kelly or James Trafford, Newcastle may pursue some top-quality additions. The report also hints at the possibility of a July surprise signing, similar to Sandro Tonali's shock arrival at Newcastle last summer. It's noted that while the majority of the targets so far have Premier League experience, the club has been scouting in France, Italy, and Germany over the past 12 months, hinting that a left-field signing could materialize in July. At the moment, the majority of the targets that have emerged have Premier League experience on their CV, but the club have been scouting in France, Italy, and Germany over the past 12 months. A potential July surprise. Think Sandro Tonali's move from AC Milan, which blindsided many, is more likely than not, Mark Douglas said. There are several familiar names doing the rounds in the current gossip columns, but this suggests a signing out of the blue could emerge next month, with Newcastle likely to step up their spending plans after June 30th. A mini deadline that signals the end of the financial year for PSR purposes. In summary, the report paints a picture of Newcastle being active in the summer transfer market, with a minimum of 4 signings targeted across key positions, as well as the possibility of a surprise move in July as the club looks to continue strengthening its squad ahead of the new season. Then finally, in an exciting update that could change Newcastle's future forever, if you would want to know the secret double deal Newcastle United are set to agree with Juventus, click the video link on screen now.